Welcome to ACS International. My name is Gavin Kinch and I'm the new principal of the school. The former principal, Mr. Rob Burrow, he concluded his time here at the school at the end of last year, and so I'm really excited to take on the principalship of this school, and I'm particularly excited to welcome our new families and our new students who are starting with us this year. We would normally at this time of year be having a barbecue and a bonfire together where we have a chance to get to know one another. But sadly, we can't do that this year. So instead, there's some videos after this of the vice principals of the school introducing themselves and also an informational video about the school. I won't say too much, but if you haven't already, please make sure that you pop online to our website and download and read the parent handbook. And for those international families who have their students residing over here, we'd also ask that you download and read the accommodation handbook. That'll give you some really good tips of how to make your time here as successful as possible. So welcome and thank you for choosing us as your school, and I look forward to getting to know you over the next few years. All the best, and as we say at ACS International, the best is yet to be.
Good morning. A very warm welcome to all new students and parents to ACS International. My name is Mrs. Tan Lim Siu Hun. I'm the Vice Principal in charge of Senior Division and the IB Diploma Program. I used to teach IB History, and this year I'm teaching Theory of Knowledge. My other areas of oversight are student leadership, higher education and careers, and staff professional development. ACS International has a comprehensive student leadership program which aims to develop confident and competent leaders ready to serve and make a difference in their community. Our higher education and careers department effectively supports our students in their university preparations and applications. The school is also highly committed to develop human capital among our staff. Ample opportunities are given to teaching and support staff to attend timely and relevant courses locally and overseas for their professional development in standards and performance. I hope to meet up with you in person on campus soon. Have a very good day. May God's blessings be with you and family in 2021.
Greetings. My name is Chun Kiet, and I'm the Director of Administration. My responsibilities can be divided into two broad categories. I'm overall in charge of all things IT at the school, and that includes the infrastructure, administration, and the use of ICT for teaching and learning. And as part of that role, I also look after the Media Resource Library. As for SLT duties, I'm responsible for the health and safety of the school, and that includes fire safety and campus security. And I naturally head the Health and Safety Committee. On the spiritual aspect, I help to coordinate the weekly chapel sessions and as well as the yearly religious emphasis week. I'm also responsible for the organizing of the Lunar New Year celebration and the Singapore National Day celebration. Now at the moment, I'm also the acting VP for the Middle Division, and hence, besides looking after the Middle Division, I'm also covering duties like the day-to-day operations and the school calendar. Thank you.
Hello, new families. Welcome to ACS International. Happy New Year and happy 2021 school year. My name is Chris Achter. I'm the Vice Principal of the Junior Division. I primarily look after Year 1 and Year 2 students. I also oversee the house system, camps and trips, the canteen, and CCAs. For CCAs, please be aware that you'll receive an email in the next week or so from Schools Buddy. That is the app that we use for signing up and taking attendance for CCAs. So be on the lookout for that email. I hope everyone has a wonderful start of the school year. God bless, and the best is yet to be.
Welcome to ACS International. ACS International is a member of the prestigious group of ACS schools in Singapore, which were founded by Bishop Oldham in 1886, and we are owned by the Methodist Church in Singapore. ACS International is a Singaporean international school. We take the rigour that's found in Singaporean schools in terms of academics, and we blend that together with the liberal approach and holistic approach to education found in international schools to have a very unique school that helps develop students in their global understanding and in their international mindedness. The school is an academically selective school. For those people from Singapore, we are an express stream school, and as such we look to attract students who are going to really flourish in the academic environment that we have here at the school. We cater for secondary 1 through to secondary 6, and in secondary 4, so in secondary 3 and 4, we offer the international IGCSE curriculum, and then in secondary 5 and 6, we offer the IB diploma program. Total student population is just over 1,000, around 1,080, and we have students from many different countries. The school is academically very strong, and a lot of emphasis is placed on that in the teaching and learning, but we're also a holistic school, and so we place great value on students being successful in sports, in artistic endeavours, in their leadership development, in their service to others, and also ensuring that their pastoral needs and well-being are looked after. We're a Christian school, and so we teach Christian values to our students. And when they finish with us at ACS International, graduates go on to top universities in the US, UK, Australia, Singapore, Canada, and many other universities around the world. When a student comes to ACS International, our goal is to develop future leaders with moral character, intellectual ability, international mindedness, and a deep compassion for humanity based upon Christian belief and values. And as I go through this PowerPoint, hopefully you'll get a sense of the way in which we do that at this school. And one of the ways that is through the values that we teach. We call it our Ignite values. This was developed by a parent of the school several years back, and we thought it was very catchy and really did sum up the values that we teach. And so these Ignite values of inspiration and impact, godliness, noble character, integrity, tenacity and excellence are taught to students throughout their time at ACS. Moving on from that, we have two main academic streams at the school. The vast majority of students are in the mainstream, so they enter in year 1 or year 2, year 3 or year 5. And in year 1 and 2 we run our own curriculum. In year 3 and 4 is when we run the IGCSE, and 5 and 6 is the IB. Then for those students who join us who still need to improve their English, they get placed into the bridging classes. So we have year 1 bridging, year 2 pre-IGCSE, and then year 4 pre-IB. And foundation IB is for students transitioning either from another Singaporean school in the middle of the year, or from a Northern Hemisphere calendar and moving into a Southern Hemisphere calendar. And so in the mainstream, it's students who can speak English, write English, and bridging students, once they've reached the required language level, will move from that bridging stream across into the mainstream. The shape of the week, this is what the timetable looks like for the school, and the day starts with a meeting in each house tutor will meet with the students in their tutor group. On Wednesdays we have an assembly, and on Friday we have a chapel. We have 5 periods or 6 periods in the day. Period 3 is split into 2 so that we can split the canteen timings. So years 1, 2 and 3, they have their lunch in 3A, while year 4, 5 and 6 have their lessons, and then that swaps over for period 3B. And if you have a look down on Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll see that after school we have student consultation and support. All the teachers sit in their classrooms during that time, and students can feel free to go to their teachers and ask for any additional help which they need, or clarification on points, or if they need a concept going over again. And then we have CCAs which run after school in two separate sessions. As I mentioned previously, we run the IGCSE, which is run out of Cambridge in the UK. It's a global curriculum which is taught throughout the world. And if you have a look at other international schools, certainly in Singapore, but around the world as well, you'll find many of them teaching this program to their secondary 3 and 4 students. In secondary 5 and 6, we teach the International Baccalaureate Diploma Programme. It's the only curriculum that we teach in year 5 and 6. We don't teach A-levels. And so with these two programs, we have a real solid curriculum here that can really help advance students and enable them to get into the universities that they want to get into. So students who enter into year 1 and 2, which is often referred to as the junior division, the subjects which they take are listed here. It very much mirrors the IB groups, which we'll see towards the end of the slideshow, and you'll find the same pattern in IGCSE as well. So English and maths is standard. Students have to do a second language. For Singaporeans, that will be their mother tongue language in the vast majority of cases. And then for those students coming in who can speak other languages, such as Korean or Chinese, or Bahasa, they can study that. And for those students who want to learn another language such as French and Spanish, they can do so too. Students do science. They rotate around through biology, chemistry and physics, and they have a dedicated teacher teaching each of those disciplines. We have inquiry, innovation and entrepreneurship, although in 2021 that has changed to become global perspectives, where students will learn about current events and how we can interpret what's happening around the world and understand it and come up with solutions to issues around the globe. Students also partake in the arts. They do a music, art and drama rotation across the year, and they also do physical education. The last group here is the integrated humanities in year 1. We have a focus on Singapore history there, so that students coming in to our school can understand a little bit about the heritage and culture of Singapore. And for our Singaporean students, it mirrors what they would be learning in local MOE schools at that same grade level. In year 2, we also teach religious studies, looking at the major faiths from around the world, and also continuing to look into geography and history. Our students progress through from the junior division through to the middle division, secondary 3 and 4. Students will then start to do their IGCSEs. So that goes over 2 years with examinations at the end. Students will do either 7 or 8 subjects, and there are a number of core subjects which they have to do, which is English language, maths, a second language, a core science and a core humanity, again following the IB structure. And then beyond that, students can choose a further 3 subjects from options 1, 2 and 3, which I'll show you on the next slide. But for those students who are in pre-IG, they only do 2 subjects from option 1 and option 3, because they're doing their additional language lessons where option 2 falls. Then in addition to this program, all students will continue to do 1 lesson of physical education per week. In terms of the elective subjects that students can do, they have to pick one of the core humanities, which are listed there, and one of the core sciences, which are there. And for those students who want to do double maths, they can pick A maths in groups 2 and 3. And for those students who want to do triple science, they can do that as well through picking chemistry and physics in subject 1, and then they have to pick biology in subject 3. You can see here other subjects that students can pick, such in subject 3, such as art, drama, PE, literature and French. At the school, we get excellent results in their IGCSEs, and if we look back over the years, you can see here that nearly every year our students get top in the world achievements, which is quite literally the highest performing student in the world. And you can see that we've got it across a range of subjects. Maths is quite strong, but there are other subjects in there as well. So it says two things about the school. First of all, we've got aspirational students who are operating at the very highest levels and can get those high grades. And secondly, we have teachers who are able to work with the students and know how to prepare them well for the exam and how to get the very most out of them so that they can do their very best in these external examinations. And then finally, in the senior division, which is secondary 5 and 6, students do the International Baccalaureate Diploma Programme. And you can see here that there are 6 groups in which students have to choose one of those subjects. So you have to do a first language. For most of our students it is English, but it doesn't have to be. They can do it say in Chinese, and then in group 2 their second language can be English. For group 3 there's the list of subjects that we offer there. Same with sciences. Group 5 is maths. And then for group 6 students can choose to do art, music or theatre. However, if they don't want to choose one of those, they can choose another subject from either humanities in group 3 or sciences in group 4. And 3 of those subjects they have to choose at a higher level, which is a longer course and slightly more advanced concepts, and then 3 at a standard level. In addition to the elective subjects, all IB students have to do compulsory subjects of theory of knowledge, where students learn how to acquire knowledge, sources of knowledge, how to validate knowledge, and then how knowledge is constructed. They have to do an extended essay, which is very much like a research paper that they would do at a university level, where they come up with a research question and then do a literature review, might do some experiments, and then they investigate the research question of their choice and then provide a conclusion at the end of that. And then the final part is Creativity Activity Service, or CAS, where students have to go out and do something which is creative or something which helps other people, run some activities, and they reflect upon that, and that forms part of their learning for IB. In terms of our results, you can see here that for our IGCSE results, distinctions, which are grades A stars or A's, about 50% of our grades are either A's or A stars. So with around 180 students graduating each year, all taking between 7 and 8 subjects, that's quite a lot of A's and A stars. So students are well positioned to do well in IGCSE here. Looking down to the IB results, IB is marked out of 45. You can see here that 19% of our students get over 40. If you get scores over 40, that's when universities such as Oxford and Cambridge start looking at applications, and other top universities from around the world. We've had a number of students over the years get top scores of 45. The ACS International average score out of 45 is 36, compared to the world average, which is just a little under 30. And 91% of our students gain a score that is higher than the world average. And finally, students are awarded the bilingual diploma if they excel in their first language and second language as well at IB. So that's the academic side of the school. I'm now going to briefly talk about how we holistically develop students physically, socially and spiritually. At ACS we have a house system, so there are 8 houses, and when a student starts with us they're placed into a house, and that really is the cornerstone of the pastoral care system. It's where our structures are set up, where a house tutor will oversee a student's journey throughout the school or throughout the year, and the head of house will oversee all of the students which are in their house also. So a lot falls on the house tutors and the heads of house to ensure that students are progressing well at the school, that they're being academically successful, and that they are safe and enjoying their time while they're with us at ACS. There's also a fun element to the houses as well. There's lots of inter-house competitions that occur throughout the year. So you can see a number here in the photographs, sporting competitions such as football, netball, music, drama. And there's other ones such as short story writing, photography, art, touch rugby, volleyball. Lots and lots going on throughout the year that students can compete against one another with. Really does lift the house spirit and enjoyment factor for the students at the school. Continuing on from that, under the pastoral care structure, you can see house tutor and the head of house. House tutors meet with students every day at the start of the day, and the heads of house, they meet with them once a week in the house assemblies, and they also go around during house tutor time checking in with students. The divisional coordinator, they are responsible for looking after students' academic performance, and a particular focus on those students who might be underperforming academically. The divisional coordinator will work closely with the student and really importantly closely with the parents as well, and to make sure that the child is attending support sessions and is completing all of the work which has been set for them. Vice principals, there's 3 vice principals, one for junior division, then middle division, and then senior division, and they oversee everything which happens in those year levels, and then the principal of the school oversees all of the activities which occur in the school. In addition to the pastoral care structure, we have a number of support services where we have experts on site who can get alongside those other house tutors and heads of house in terms of pastoral care. We have school counsellors who look after the emotional well-being and social needs of students. So students can meet with them if they have any issues they need to discuss, and they also run programs about well-being to our students as well throughout the year. The higher education team is in charge of university applications, and so throughout the year they'll run sessions in which they explain to students about how to write their essay applications. They run career sessions, and they invite alumni in to talk about job shadowing. We have universities who come in and promote their universities with us, and they really are experts, so they can help students to apply for universities all around the world. We have a school nurse who looks after the physical health of our students. We have a sick bay here, and we also have some chaplaincy staff who work with the Christian Fellowship for those students who want to be part of that. And then finally, for our international students, we have international student counsellors or international student coordinators who look after areas specific to international students such as visas, guardianship and accommodation matters. Moving on to the communication at the school, the first person to contact if you have any academic queries about your child would be the subject teacher, so you can contact them. If you've got another query about your child, then the person to contact is either their house tutor or the head of house, depending on what the issue is. We release academic reports at the end of each term, and for those students who we identify as being underperforming, they're placed on academic monitoring where the divisional coordinator will look after them, or it can also be the house tutor of head of house, depending on their particular set of needs. We also have a Meet the Tutor night coming up at the start of term 1, so there'll be information coming out about that soon. We normally do it in person, but in 2021 it'll be done online through Zoom or Google Meet, so we'll let you know about that. There are 2 parent-teacher meetings each year. This year they're likely to be online again, so we'll let you know about that. For those, if you want more information, there's you can find policies on our school website. I'd really recommend you go on there and particularly look under the menu item of Life at ACS. You'll find lots of really good information there, and particularly international students about guardianship, boarding and homestay. And for all parents, there's a parent handbook on there that contains pretty much everything that you would need to know about the school. So The booklet looks like this. It's just available as a soft copy. And if you have a look there, the website is, you go to the ACS International website, Life at ACS, go down to forms and important information. You'll find lots of important things there. But at the bottom, I've circled where you can find the parent handbook. That really does explain everything that you'll need to know. Okay, moving on to student leadership roles. At the school, there's over 200 leadership positions, which might be in CCAs or the house system or whole of school positions. The whole of school positions tend to be for the senior students, such as school prefects, ambassadors, and student council. But other students can have leadership positions as well through the house system. So there might be a peer leader, and there might be a prefect within the house, and of course there might be CCA leaders as well. So for example, you might be the head of the string section in the orchestra, or you might be the rugby captain. In addition to those, there are other leadership opportunities to get involved in service work, and if a student is involved in leadership outside of the school, we can recognise that as well. The school has a large number of co-curricular activities, or CCAs, in sport, performing arts, leadership and interest groups. So there's some photographs here of some of the activities which occur at the school, and this list here shows you all of the various CCAs that a student can sign up for. Some CCAs go for the whole year, some just for a couple of terms. Some fluctuate. So for example, the sporting ones follow seasons. So you might be busy in one term, but then the season is closed for the next term. All students are expected to sign up for a CCA. When you sign up for a CCA, you just commit to it for 1 year. You can change after that. And CCAs are a really good way for students to meet some new students in the school and have some fun while at school. Here are some photographs of some of the CCAs which we have at the school, some of the sporting ones. We've got a really strong volleyball team at the school. And there's always lots and lots going on for students to become involved in. Here is our string orchestra on one of their tours, and here's a photograph from a few years ago of one of our drama productions. Overseas trips, of course, COVID has stopped many of these. However, when we resume to sort of a normal operation, there's a number of trips that students can go overseas on. And so we have service trips, and we have trips visiting overseas universities, curriculum excursions, performances, competitions, and end-of-year camps as well. So just a list of a few of the trips over the years. Gone to the US, went to Florida, to NASA, and to the Everglades. And we've also been across to the West Coast to visit universities there, such as UCLA, USC, and also University of British Columbia up in Vancouver. Same with the UK for prestigious universities over there. And then we've had service and cultural trips to a number of other countries around the Asian region. And each year in March, we have had a ski trip to Switzerland. So a number of photos here, ski trip, a trip over to Russia to visit the Cosmonaut Center there, and also the CERN factory to visit the Large Hadron Collider. That's one of our physics curriculum trips from a few years ago. Here are some of our service trips that our Year 5s get involved in as part of their CAS component of their IB program. So typical work will be painting or doing some groundwork, levelling some work, or moving building materials around for local labourers to do the skilled work. Here are some photographs here of Zimbabwe digging some trenches which are going to be turned into a garden and running some school curriculum activities and lessons. Moving on to international students. If you're an international family and your child is moving to Singapore, you must have a read of the accommodation handbook. It can be found again under Life at ACS International under boarding and homestay. There's a number of policies there around how we look after your child while they're in Singapore. But all the policies can also be found in this accommodation handbook. It's really, really important that you read this and understand the expectations the school has in terms of the quality of accommodation which is found, and also in terms of suitable guardians being found as well for the school. So there's lots of important details in the accommodation handbook. However, I will just highlight some of the critical points that we have for international students. First of all, they must have an appointed legal guardian, and the guardian must adhere to the ACS guardianship policy. Again, that can be found online. Please make sure that you read it, understand it, and that the guardian that you appoint follows that policy. You must register the guardian with the school so that we know who they are. And you must also register your child's address with the school as well, particularly if they move. You must let us know so that we can record that and track that that's correct. And we've stated here that to be enrolled at ACS International, we must be satisfied that the guardian is suitable and that the accommodation arrangements are suitable as well. We've had cases before where students have not met these standards, and unfortunately we've had to ask those students to remain home until they've sorted out. So really important that you get that sorted out. We have 2 international student coordinators who help with that process. You can ask them any questions, and for those students in homestays, they will go and visit your child. They will go and inspect the property and make sure that it's up to the standard that we demand that it has to be. So feel free to contact them at any time. Following on from that, child safeguarding and protection is really important to us at ACS International. It's every staff member's job at the school to ensure that our students are safe while they're at the school. They should be free from any harm or abuse. And so we've got a number of policies and practices, procedures in place to ensure that the school is a safe environment and that your child is being well looked after. So all of our staff have completed a rigorous background checking through an external company, which they do before they're employed at the school. All staff are trained in issues relating to child safeguarding and protection. And throughout the school, there are a number of mechanisms by which concerns can be reported to staff members. These staff members are on a team of child protection officers whose job it is to ensure that children are being well treated and free from harm. And that's a role that we take really seriously so that your child will be safe and that they can get on with their school, enjoy school, and flourish here and be successful when they leave. But when they leave, where do they go? Well, I've got here some examples of universities that students have gone to. So you can see here we've got a large number of students who've gone to some of the top universities in the world. Imperial College London, University College London, and then you can see here that the Orange Row University, National University of Singapore, NUS, we have a lot of students who go there. And you can see here if we rank universities in terms of where our students go, you can see that NUS is number 1. The green universities are the Australian universities, yellow are the UK ones, and so we send students all around the world to university. We have a number of high-profile families who send their children here, one of which was Joko Widodo, the Indonesian president, and this is him attending the graduation ceremony a couple of years ago now. His children have left here now, but these are Indonesian students getting a selfie with their president. One really strong part of ACS is its OBA, which is an organisation set up for the alumni. It is a large organisation. It has a lot of members and is influential in Singapore. And to join that alumni, is really beneficial to those people who want to work in this region. And we would highly recommend that when you complete your time with us at ACS International, you look into joining the OBA. Well, I've come nearly to the end of my presentation. I hope you have a sense of the heritage which we have here, both at ACS International, but also the wider group of Anglo-Chinese schools. We have a strong international curriculum taught by a mix of local and international teachers. Around half of our students are international, and the other half are Singaporean. And it's very similar with our staff in terms of the mix as well. We have strong academic performance at the school. We get excellent results, and the way that we approach our academics is that we teach to the top students, and that's the way that we get great results. Through the CCAs and house system and other activities, such as service, we offer a holistic education. We are a Christian school, and we teach Christian values, and we have a really good mix of staff and students, and a really good staff to student ratio. So I hope that this has given you a good idea about the school. We're very thankful to have your child with us, and we look forward to partnering with you in their education over the coming years.